we were talking beforehand. Like everyone told us to have a savings account when we were little, and I never got one because it didn't make any sense to me. But also, yeah. So
Yeah.
like you had thought this was something that you had brought up. So if you have a
Yeah.
spiel, go for the spiel.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's I remember as a kid, right? Like my parents really pushed bank accounts and saving, um, and that's all well and good. But now as an adult, I've always sort of wondered, like, if you sit down and do the math, right, and it's it reflects current events with inflation, right? Like, let's say you take your money and you throw it in a bank account, and I mean, what's a CD get you these days? One of those certificates of deposit, right? Like
No
half a
idea.
percent, maybe a quarter percent.
I haven't bothered to check, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, it's so negligible that it's not even worth considering, right? Like how much money you're going to get out of it, because the answer is basically none. Um, so why would you put your money in a bank account?
Why do they exist? Do you know why they exist? I'd always wondered that. Like when I was going through when I was first opening bank accounts and doing different things and like looking through like what each thing did, I was
Yeah.
like, why would anyone do that? Like, it didn't
What,
make any
have a
like
bank?
this. No, the CD, like those
Oh,
sorts of accounts. It's like, why would
yeah.
anyone put their money there? Like that makes no sense. Why wouldn't you just do anything else with it?
Yeah. So the advantage of the CD is it's a guaranteed return, right?
No.
So it's kind of like a bond, right? Like it's you give your money to the bank, they agree they're going to pay you whatever percent, half a percent, but they'll pay you that half a percent no matter what, right? Market goes up, market goes down, you'll get half a percent.
Yeah.
Um, so it's not a bad one for money that you can't lose. Like there's I guess there's a couple different pots of money anybody should have. There's the money you need, then like that should be in a bank account because you need it to be there, right? Like
Yeah.
there's money that you don't need but you can't lose. That would be stuff you'd put in like a CD, right? Like it's you're
Hmm.
not going to use it your day-to-day expenses. If you really needed it, you could get it back on a penalty, but you won't lose it. And then there's money that you can lose, and that money should be invested in something, right?
Yeah.
But even to like keep up with inflation, right? I mean, if money in your bank account is worth less, I put $100 in the bank today,
Hmm.
next June, it'll still say 100, but it's not going to be worth that same, it won't have the same
No,
purchasing power,
the
right?
buying power is less. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, you only want to keep that money in an account that you need as cash in case of emergency or for the rent or that kind of thing.
Yeah. That's interesting because like the thing with inflation, I I understand from a theoretical, like you print more money, so the money is worth less, and then it's since it's valued at less, you can't buy as much with one iteration of that currency.
Yeah.
But what I don't understand is like if everyone can buy less, like I feel like it should even out theoretically. Like if I'm a company and then there's inflation and my dollar is worth less, so to buy my supplies that I need to make whatever thing I'm making,
Hmm.
like you would buy like almost well, I guess not because then you'd have to charge more to recoup the loss of the value of the dollar. So
Yeah. And it doesn't hit, it'd be one thing if you just changed it overnight, right? Like,
mhm.
so we wake up tomorrow and the buying power is worth 10% less. And everybody knows that, right? Like
Yeah.
tomorrow, $10 is only worth nine. We sent out a decree, everybody knows. But that's not how it hits the market, right? It
No, they
hits the
do these
market.
long-term deals where it's like I'll buy this much over this much time and do like put this
Yeah.
much up front and then pay that much on the back end and whatever else.
Yeah. And so it
Yeah.
hits different sectors at different times. And so different things are hit by inflation, right? There's a scenario where inflation's good for you, right? Like if you happen to be on the, on the like on a fixed debt, right? So like a mortgage,
Hmm.
right? Like a mortgage is it's paid in a dollar amount, right? Regardless
Yeah.
of inflation. So my, like, for example, the mortgage on my house every year kind of sort of in a way becomes less,
Hmm.
in the absence of me paying it off just by running out the clock. All of a sudden the amount that I owe is not as steep to get to.
Yeah, the percentage of your paycheck is less that it comes out of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so like, it depends who's being hit when.